Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Super Boob Tube Dudes podcast. I am your host, Dante Serecchia, along with my host, 1B, Mr. Tyler Hoskins.
1B. I like it.
That's right. We are both number one. There are no number twos.
Number one.
All right. So today's kind of an off recording day. It's been a few weeks since we recorded. As you know, as you guys know, the summer is pretty scarce with our superhero TV shows, other than say our comic book shows like Outcast and Preacher right now. And we've kind of taken a different turn with how we're going to do those two shows for the summer. We're going to we're gonna go ahead and do the whole seasons as like a review podcast. So like one episode will be all Outcast, the other will be all Preacher. Even though we kind of already went into like 3 or 4 or 5 of the episodes of each season already from the last episode, it'll just be easier and I think a lot more fun to kind of compress everything and get all of our thoughts out for the season and hit those special beats that were really cool in the show, instead of kind of fumbling around each episode, because it's such a slow time right now with the summer. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. But today we're going to be doing we're looking at a lot of the news that's been happening in the last like 3 weeks, stuff with Comic-Con and DC and Marvel and Netflix stuff, and that's what we're gonna do. How Tyler? How did you like some of the stuff that came from Comic-Con? Like, what was your favorite stuff from Comic-Con?
I think my favorite stuff. I really liked the Wonder Woman trailer. That was awesome.
Yeah, I did too. I really dug that.
Just so badass. And, I'm so excited for that movie. That is top of my list.
I know. I really dug the trailer a lot too, and I thought she was powerful, and she was commanding as a leader of whatever she's fighting against, which we still don't know
exactly. It's perfect too. Like, it showed you exactly as much as you needed to see. You don't know, you really don't know what's happening at all, but you got to get excited about it.
Yeah, they really knew how to put. I mean, they've been done filming for a while, and they were kind of filming when BVS was in theaters. So, and before they've been doing this for a while. So I think they're pretty much done with this film, except for maybe some like CG or whatever post-production stuff and maybe reshoots. But I think, and I mean, especially, I think they're done with it because they're already filming Justice League. I really think they're done with the movie. So. The way they put it together was really cool because you don't know the story. I mean, all you know is that she meets Steve on the island, and then all of a sudden she's like fighting in World War II, and we got those awesome action shots. And that's awesome. It was a lot of fun. I think she did what she needed to do as Wonder Woman in the trailer to get me excited. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, she looks really good. I mean, I don't know. I still personally think that Gal Gadot is not my favorite choice, but with what we have, I think it's really awesome.
Yeah, I think she's going to do a good job.
Oh, I do too. And I'm really hoping that her acting abilities, are really on par with some of the other actors of these main DC films and everything. Because
for sure,
that would really bring this movie down. If our leading lady, couldn't deliver in the acting abilities there. Hey Tyler.
Yo.
Shut that dog up. I'm just kidding. No, yeah, your dog's happy about Wonder Woman too, and that's cool.
Sure. So.
We also got. I guess we're just kind of. Let's just stick with Comic-Con for right now, since there's TV stuff in there too. What do you think of that Justice League like mashup of videos? Because it wasn't really a trailer.
Yeah, it wasn't really a trailer. I mean, if it was a trailer, I'm disappointed.
No, yeah, it definitely wasn't a trailer or a teaser. It was like a bunch of clips put together that fit into like a certain, sizzle reel type thing.
Yeah, so this is basically it's Batman trying to put the team together, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
I liked it.
I did too.
It was good. If you said trailer, then I hate it.
Yeah.
But because of what it is, it's not exactly a trailer. So I'm definitely on board with it. I like how he's going back and forth and recruiting everybody, like going to them and asking for help. The one thing I will say is the Flash recruitment scene reminds me a lot of Tony Stark and Spider-Man.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I didn't even think about that until right now, and you're totally right.
Right? Like he was really like, and it makes sense because he's a teenager, right? So it makes sense.
I think he's in his early 20s. I don't think he's a teenager at all. I mean, because he's
one of the younger guys in the group, at least then.
Right. I think that he's actually. I mean, what his title in the movie is like, he's a I guess internet forensic scientist or something. He does like the forensic scientist like Barry Allen does, but I think it's online, like he catches online predators or something like that. Maybe I'm wrong, or maybe I heard that somewhere else, but I don't know. I know he's like 22 or 25, somewhere around there.
Exactly. So he's a younger guy. Mm-hmm. He's really gung ho about having friends.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
So it's good. I really did enjoy it. I like the scenes where like it's clearly he's already got Wonder Woman on his side, so he's trying to find the other guys.
Right. They kind of got together at the end of the other movie.
That one scene where she asks, "Well, did you get him?"
Right.
More or less. Well, more or more or less. He said no, didn't he? Yeah, he said no. So,
and that was, I think, referring to Aquaman.
Yes. Yeah.
Definitely. And I like how they already are separated from him, even though he's still in the movie.
Yeah, no, it's good. I enjoyed I'm excited to see how they fit that in. It's obviously going to be probably the first few scenes of the movie, at least, because the movie's titled Justice League. You can't really be just, let's go recruiting the entire Justice League for the whole movie. So,
right, yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. This is all, they all filmed this stuff for Comic-Con. There's no question about it. I mean, I'm sure they're in the midst of doing all that, but a lot of this stuff was definitely, for Comic-Con, like specific like pieces of film.
Right.
I mean, because they just started, and they Warner Brothers wanted to have something cool alongside Wonder Woman and not leave everybody hanging, and it was a cool surprise.
Yeah.
What did you think of Cyborg? Let's go with each character right now. We can go through all this news really fast, so let's just kind of
Cyborg. I don't know. I like the character. We didn't really see a lot of him, so
I know
it is hard to tell, but I mean, he looks good.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's definitely unfinished. I mean, with the CG, I mean, they just started, so.
And I think that's why we didn't see a lot of him either, right? So it's.
Right, and I hope he's going to be a lot cooler than what we saw. But to me, I think he just looks too scrawny. I mean, he doesn't look as bulky as I'd like to see my Cyborg character.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, he looked a little bit too shiny Terminator.
Because Cyborg is jacked.
Yeah, I mean that's how I like to see him, especially like with the old Young Justice or like Teen Titans, before they went to Go and all that. Yeah. But I mean, even in the comics, I know in the New 52 they kind of streamlined him and made him more regular sized human cyborg kind of looking, and I think that's probably what they're going to do. But I always thought he was really cool when he was like big and bulky and still that powerful. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see there. We did we get to see Wonder Woman do any Wonder Woman-y stuff in the trailer, or was it mostly everyone else?
It was mostly everybody else. It was just those scenes with Wonder Woman were just. It was Diana and Bruce, right? It was just
right, and then we
chilling.
saw one shot of Batman though, right?
Yeah,
Right. He like came down from like the or inside of a building and kind of crouched down, superhero, landing.
yeah. Thank you, Dennis.
Yeah, I know, right? Now I can actually, have a name for stuff.
She's gonna do it. She's gonna do it. She's gonna do it. She's gonna do
it. So that's cool. I don't know if I like the Flash costume, but it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
but
I thought it was going to be something. I thought it was going to be like more, I don't know, robotic. And
well,
metallic.
I think in the BVS trailer, not BVS trailer, but in the movie, that scene, I think that there is, like he's wearing a outside suit to either protect him or help him go through time.
Yeah.
So I think there's like more attachments on him, sure, so he can do what he did in that scene. But obviously, I mean, he looks a lot like, smaller and more maneuverable with the suit that they kind of showed him in here. So I think they foreshadow a little bit of this is what he's going to need in the future to go through time to do this and that and whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think there's a little bit too much black in the suit. But
it's so hard to tell. Like we only saw it for a quick minute too, right? So
well, I mean, they showed there was some pictures online, and it was like him standing there, and it's definitely like the suit we see, and it's not like a rendering or piece of art or Photoshop. So it's actually him in the suit, and I think that like there's a little bit too much black. I think, and I mean it's very nitpicky, but. And I understand they're giving them the armor a little bit of the Injustice look, and I mean it makes sense. He's going to need something to protect himself, I guess. But I don't know. I like my Barry Allen from the TV show. I mean, he takes some hits, but he's a fast healer, and I don't know. It's just different, and that's fine. Different's fine. It's a different universe, which is cool. But I was definitely shocked with how more likable I thought Ezra Miller was in the scene with Bruce. And I wasn't expecting him to be.
It was nice. It was nice to see for sure.
Especially as clean cut as he was, because in BVS he was looked like a trash man,
Yeah, and it was like, what the hell? Who is this guy?
Yeah, why does he have all this nasty facial hair and long hair, and how is he a police scientist with this and that? And I mean, I know we don't have any context behind that, but still, it was just like, this is really weird to see this character like this, and it really put a lot of fans off. And I know it's not just me and you. I mean, everyone saw that and was like, who the hell? That's Barry Allen?
Who is this kid?
Yeah, it threw everyone off. So it was kind of cool to see him the way he is in the Justice League trailer, and I like to see that. I mean, Batman has a new suit now, a little bit darker, and his cowl's a little bit thinner. It doesn't look very fat on his face, I guess. It reminds me of how different. What was his face? Who played Batman first? Michael Keaton. It reminds me of how Michael Keaton's costume changed from Batman to Batman Returns, and very, very reminiscent of that in just some ways. Because I personally love Batman Returns Batmobile and the costume. Or is it the other way around? I like the Batmobile from the first movie and the costume from the second movie the best, from Returns. And I think this new Batman costume looks pretty cool. It's a lot darker, and I think it makes him scarier than having all the gray or whatever. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It looks pretty interesting. So what do you think they're going to do with Superman? How do you think they're going to bring him in? Do you think he'll even be in the movie? I mean, he's on the roster.
See,
what are your speculations?
I think that he might show up at the end of this.
You think he'll be the like the surprise at the end to save everyone, or
yeah, I hope that doesn't happen.
I know. I hope that. I think that'll be kind of cheesy too.
Like, it's so hard to, cause like he's dead, right? But he's not. We all know,
right?
He's
yeah,
not
like
dead.
he's in stasis and healing or whatever. I mean,
Exactly.
if they're doing the the official Doomsday, Superman Returns or Superman Lives sort of storyline.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do it, but I have a feeling he's gonna be not a predominant character in the movie at all. This is gonna be more about like the Flash, Aquaman, and Cyborg. It's gonna be more about them than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, Batman going. I mean, it's just the one thing that still I still don't see the Batman that I know and the Batman that I love, like from the animated series. Like I mean, I know this is a later Batman, but even as a later Batman, like Bruce is still he is all Batman, and I know it may have consumed him a little bit the way we saw him in BVS, but like it's hard for me to see Bruce, going out there as Bruce, looking for Arthur Curry and looking for Barry Allen, and whether he's stealthy about it or not. I mean, it doesn't feel right for me that the persona of Bruce Wayne would go out and look for these characters and not Batman, or not even like, even if he went out as like Matches Malone or whatever and just did like his own little bullshit secret identity, that would be interesting. That would be fun. It'd be a cool nod to fans. But going out as Bruce Wayne is like, I don't give a fuck about my my secret identity. I'm just going to go out and look for these super people, even though people don't know who these super people are. But I mean, he's in the bar with everybody that know that this fish man is super powerful and is like Jesus on the water, for them, giving fish in the wintertime. Like, it just seems a little bit, I mean, I guess it seems more real, like a real person would. I mean, if you were Batman, you would probably, probably not go out as Batman and do those things. And I get that. But as the character and as this like mythology and the world that we're in, like, you think that he would go as Batman to these places. And I mean, that's what you see in the animated series, and that's what you see in the comics. He doesn't go around as Bruce Wayne. He's not. I mean, his secret identity is so it's different in the movies now than it is, or than it was in the comics or whatever. It just doesn't feel right for me, I think, for him to go out as Bruce Wayne and not Batman. That just kind of weirds me out. I'm like, why is he doing this as Bruce? And I don't know. That's just one thing that kind of bugs me. But
but I mean, like when he went to see Barry Allen, he kind of tested him. Right, and he threw the.
Well, yeah, I mean, he snuck into his apartment. I mean, and that makes sense. I mean, Bruce Wayne, I guess, could do that.
He also threw his little bat thing.
Yeah, the batarang. He threw the batarang at him too. I mean, he totally gave up, who he was. It just seems he seems very willy-nilly with his secret identity, and I kind of don't like to see that Batman. I would like to see, him actually give a crap about, keeping that separate. I mean, that's kind of like, that's one of like, one of the Batman things. I mean, even if he is a later, older Batman, he should still be, keeping up, appearances. And whether he's in, behind closed doors with another hero, I mean, that if these people that he's going to might not be his friends, he doesn't know. It just doesn't seem he seems too trusting, and I don't like that Batman. A trusting Batman gets killed or gets other people killed. It just doesn't fit well for me. He needs to be less trusting.
Fair enough.
And that's my problem, I guess, with the trailer. But I mean, they got to show Ben Affleck's face, and I understand that. And they probably did a rush job on those things or whatever. So I mean, maybe these things are in the movie, maybe they're not. Maybe these were just filmed just for this. So we might not get the same scenes once the film is finished. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
for
mean, it's
sure.
totally possible that might happen, but I still liked it. It wasn't my favorite trailer of Comic Con, but I still really liked it. And that's Justice League. Um, we have so much Netflix news from Comic Con as well.
Oh yeah.
And we got a Daredevil 3 teaser, which is not much. Um, it's just basically like, we're having a 3 and the third season's coming. And then we got a quick flash of um, we got a new poster for Iron Fist, and we got a teaser trailer of Iron Fist, and that looks awesome. Um, do you know much about Iron Fist?
I don't know a lot about it. No.
Well, with the trailer, we get, I mean, a little teaser. It's only 52 seconds. So, I mean, we get the origin basically. Um, Danny Rand's family is, they crash land in like, I don't know if it's like the Himalayas or some kind of mountains or whatever, and he's kind of, from a rich family, and these monks or these people of the mountain, they save him, and and then we just get him like blasting a wall, and he's all bearded up and bloody and stuff, and I think it's gonna be awesome. It's like a super super small tease, but it is going to be great. I'm so excited for that. I think we're going to get it in 2017, so we still don't know an exact date um, on Iron Fist, but that's really cool. Jessica Jones, we know when we didn't get a trailer for Jessica Jones, but we know that and Iron Man are going to be in 2018. But what we do know for sure is that Jessica Jones um, will be like back to back right after the Defenders, um, and which we got a really cool little teaser for that too. And
Yeah.
it was kind of like all bits and pieces of each show, and it was like kind of newspaper clippings, sort of, being kind of pasted together, and then it kind of formed like a reached out hand for the teaser. And that was really cool. Lots of little tiny clips from each of the seasons and things like that. And I'm pretty excited for that. That's just really cool. So um, we're gonna get Luke Cage next in September, who's coming up real soon. And Luke Cage is coming September 30th, and we got a new trailer for that, and he's smashing heads and breaking through walls and ripping off car doors and stuff. Um, we we got all the I saw a really cool panel that they were talking about it on Comic-Con, and it sounds so much fun. We got Misty Knight in there, and she's going to be awesome, I think. And apparently every episode is named after a song from the rapper Gangstar.
Amazing.
And it's gonna be really cool. They're bringing a lot of cool '70s stuff, like themes and feels, and like uh, apparently, I guess they said Harlem is like a character itself. And I'm so excited for this show. It's going to be so different from anything we've ever seen from Marvel and Netflix. I think with especially with the Marvel Netflix combination,
Right.
and then that'll lead right into I think in early I think maybe January or February. I'm thinking we're gonna get Iron Fist, maybe March. Um, and then that will probably be the last thing we we get into, which kind of sucks because I mean, maybe they'll drop it in April of 2017 for Iron Fist because I can't see them going more than 6 months without Defenders. And
Sure.
and if Defenders is supposed to be preceding like right on like the top of Jessica Jones season 2, and that's in 2018, I can't see those two very far away. So
No.
if we get if we get Defenders in 2018, we're probably going to have to wait a few months, maybe four for, probably we'll probably get it in April or May. Hopefully not that late for Iron Fist because it would be really cool. I mean, I'm not sure if we're going to get Defenders in 2017. That's kind of
I,
the thing. I don't
I think that's
remember.
what they're saying. At
Is that
least
what they
that's what
said?
Wikipedia says.
Okay,
Wikipedia
so
says that Iron Fist and Defenders are 2017.
okay, cool. So I'm thinking, like I said, it's probably going to be like February or March we'll get Iron Fist, and then I'm thinking maybe like the same time right now, September
Yeah.
for Defender. So a year from now, and then like right after will be Jessica Jones, which will be awesome, and then Daredevil close after that. So we're gonna wait longest for Daredevil than we've ever
Oh
had
yeah.
to. But
But that's okay.
however, yeah, that's okay. I mean, we got lots of other cool shows coming, and we're gonna see Daredevil and Defenders as well. So I think that's why they're waiting for more Daredevil because they want to tell Daredevil's story within Defenders first
Absolutely.
and then continue his story after Defenders with season 3, which sounds awesome. Sounds awesome. Excuse me. And it's a great idea. I mean, especially with them originally not knowing anything was going to work, with Netflix and these Marvel shows. So now that they do, it's kind of cool that they can write around them and incorporate everything together. And it's lovely that that they have this chance to do that and that it's so well received and accepted by fans and viewers and stuff. So I'm very excited to see how they take a turn with writing these characters together and then away from being together, because like what they did say about Defenders is that every single character is so different. And Jeff Loeb was talking about it. I saw like a little 2 or 3 minute interview with him, and he was saying that every single character is so different. To write them the way they're writing them so differently, and then bringing them together, they're from different. I mean, even though they're from the same universe, and like in Marvel and in New York and all this stuff, they are still from different worlds. Like you got Jessica Jones doing her thing, and I mean, even though she knows Luke Cage, he's doing his own thing. They have so many different secrets and different backstories that getting together is going to be so interesting because they're also very different. And especially Iron Fist. I mean, he's the most mystical out of all of them. And bringing that in is going to be like, they're all going to see him as like, this guy's a crazy weirdo. It just seems they're going to be very shocked to see each other and those different worlds kind of clash, which is kind of cool that we get to see that too. Now I know we haven't heard any word on what Defenders is going to kind of be like, or the bad guy, but we did hear like a rumor that it would probably be Mephisto as the bad guy, but I think he might be too big of a villain for the TV series. I don't know, but we'll have to see how that goes, I guess. And that's pretty much the Netflix news. Other than one more thing, Netflix did pass up on Agent Carter.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think about that?
I'm not surprised. To be honest.
I mean, we were hoping, but
I wasn't holding my breath.
I mean, it's still not dead. It's just not happening at Netflix.
Yeah, and it's not a
Now,
priority for Marvel right now, I don't think.
oh, definitely not. It was always a side thing, and it was kind of like that thing that was just in between, the mid-season of Agents of Shield.
Yeah.
Um, Now, what they're going to do in between that is interesting, and it might be something completely non-Marvel, or it might just be empty space. But I mean, it totally could come back, but I kind of don't see it ever happening. I think
That's
they
the nice
might
thing about
just.
the nice thing about it being like in the past is you can do it whenever, right?
Oh, exactly. Yeah. I mean, as long as we don't wait too long, and Haley Outwell doesn't get all old and gray, then I mean I guess they could use keep her age because she does age through the series, um, and do something before they end up finding Steve in the ice and stuff. So I guess her age really doesn't matter, but that would be interesting still. I mean, even if they came back and said, screw the late 50s and 60s, and here's a 70s story, and this happens, and with this, and it connects to the Marvel universe this way and that
Yeah,
would be kind
exactly.
of interesting. I mean, it still could happen. ABC could bring it back. ABC could do something if now, just like CW has done The Seed, and like NBC is doing their thing with like Star Trek and stuff. Like they're I guess
Yeah.
they're or is it CBS?
CBS is doing Star
Like
Trek. Yeah.
CBS is doing the Star Trek stuff with their online service. Like maybe ABC will get on board with that, and they could probably do something with Agent Carter then if Haley Atwell's free from her other projects and whatever. That could happen. I mean, I can't see it not happening, especially with the way the internet's going and how streaming is going, and if it's a demand of some sort with Marvel and they have a story to tell, then maybe they'll bring her back, which is kind of cool. But as of now, Netflix said no for that. Um, and then we also said we also got the Punisher coming.
Yes.
We have his own show coming, and I think um, that is after the third season of Daredevil. So I mean, there's teases that we still might get John Bernthal in Defenders. Apparently, someone tweeted to Netflix and Marvel and Jeff Loeb about it, and they said, stay tuned, I guess, to see if the Punisher will be in Defenders because he might make a special appearance. So we might not have to wait very long to see him, which is
Sure.
awesome, and I really dig that. Um, in other Marvel news, we have. Um, we have Agents of Shield. Now we did get a preview. Or I guess not a preview, but a trailer. I did
Quick
not.
teaser.
Yeah, I didn't watch the teaser for that. But
If you know Ghost Rider's coming, that's all you need to know because that's all it was.
that was the only thing. I thought there was another like full length trailer
Least
for the series.
I didn't see one.
Okay. So maybe I'm wrong. So yeah, okay, I was super surprised
Yeah,
because
that's shocking.
like okay, so only like a month or so ago, we saw the chains on the bus, like this, the billboard on the bus or whatever it was, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's Ghost Rider," blah blah blah, and it was like, "No, it's the guy the Inhuman guy because he had the flaming chain, in the last season," and that's
Yeah.
exactly what I thought, and I could have sworn on my life that it was that guy, and they were just kind of teasing that he's going to have a bigger part. But apparently, they're doing the Marvel Now new version of Ghost Rider, which is another Ghost Rider demon. It's not the same Ghost Rider that had Johnny Blaze or Daniel
No.
Keach, and it is a different Ghost Rider that has basically taken Robbie Reyes, this Hispanic character, and he kind of soups up this hot rod for his ride instead of a motorcycle like the other guys. So I think that'll be awesome. I really dug the Robbie Reyes story. I mean, he's got a brother who's like mentally and physically handicapped, and he's always trying to take care of him. And there's always problems. It's kind of like very Spider-Man in the way Robbie Reyes has all of these problems. And not that his brother is a problem, but he has all of these things that are keeping him from, you know, not really keeping him from anything, but they're in his life. These are issues in his life he has to deal with, kind of like a Spider-Man character does. And that's why I like Marvel so much. They do the kids with problems so well. And Robbie Reyes goes, he's got some bad times with these drug dealers and everything in his comic series. So it'll be interesting to see how they incorporate him into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., especially with all this Inhuman stuff happening. But I mean, you don't know very much about this character, though, do you, Tyler?
I know nothing about this character.
Okay. No. If you had time, the Marvel Now Ghost Rider is really good. It's got some great, interesting art and very let's see. I can't remember the artist, but he did a lot of other Marvel stuff before, but he seems like a very like Street Fighter art, like comic art type artist. I think he actually may have drawn Street Fighter comics in the past, but the art's really good. It's very cartoony and flashy and fun type art. But Robbie Reyes is a cool character. I like him as a new Ghost Rider. His hot rod is awesome. And I think that it'll be a really interesting addition to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., especially if he kind of becomes a part of the team in some way. Instead of just here's Ghost Rider in one episode and that's it. And that would really piss me off.
Yeah, that would be a little strange.
Yeah, it's just that would suck because he's kind of a character you should really put some time into. And if they can give time, I mean, maybe 23, 24 episodes a season, I think they can. And hopefully they give him a pretty good arc, 2, 3 episodes, 4 episodes would be awesome. I would definitely like to see a lot of Ghost Rider in there. And also, one more thing about S.H.I.E.L.D. Apparently, we got some words from Jeff Loeb, the Marvel TV guy, about Bobby and Hunter returning.
Yeah,
and it says it's yeah, he says keep watching. It's classified, jokingly, but I think they'll be making some kind of return. This season. So that'll be really interesting because it's pretty crappy the way that their show didn't get picked up, and they kind of got kicked out. They kind of got kicked out of the series, thinking they would get their own show, and
they got kicked off the team for good. So
yeah, and it's kind of sad because they're awesome characters, and I was hoping for a new show, but I think that. I think there is some way. I mean, if they could bring back dead characters like they did Agent Coulson, they can bring back living ones like Bobby and Hunter. So,
yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
And also back with I guess the Ghost Rider stuff. The kid who's playing, or the actor who's playing Robbie Reyes, his name is Gabriel Luna, and he was in True Detective and the movie Matador. And I think he looks a lot like the character. I think he'll be pretty good addition to the show. And I think that's all for Marvel stuff. Other than, I guess, if you count FX and Fox, like X-Men stuff, we did get a Legion official trailer for FX, and it is absolutely confusing. Apparently. I mean, you say you didn't see this one, right, Tyler?
I did not watch it. No.
I would suggest. I think you might dig it, but I think you'll be confused as well. But it's very. like remember in X-Men 2, and you had uh the kid in the wheelchair or whatever.
Yeah.
And I guess it was William Stryker's son, or it's very reminiscent of that in a way, but this kid is apparently Professor X's kid.
Okay.
And or a child that he has had or something like that. But he is very powerful, but he also has like all these like mental issues. Sure. And there's a lot of him, in scenes with other characters, but then also with the government trying to ask him questions about who he is and the powers he has and stuff like that. So it's interesting. I think it'll be a pretty dark, like FX kind of is, other than their comedy shows, but I think it'll be kind of a very dark X-Men, but really cool dark X-Men show. And I'm hoping that it'll do well. But I mean, it's executive produced by both the Jeff Loeb's Marvel TV side and the X-Men Fox TV side. So I don't know if you can kind of say it's a combination because it's not fully a Marvel production, but they're all in it together kind of because it's still Marvel TV and they're using some Marvel characters. I think this is like the merger that's beginning, because we've heard a lot of these rumors that Marvel may be coming together with Fox to do a crossover or whatever.
Yeah. That's all I want. I just want to see. My biggest wish is to see Wolverine in a Marvel movie, and I will be happy.
And I think, I will like cream in my pants if they do some kind of like Wolverine flashback, and he remembers being in the war with Captain America somewhere, and or even just sees him. I love that stuff.
Or like even if he shows up in Infinity War.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and
that would blow my mind.
Yeah, that would be badass. And I don't know if I could see that happening, but I think that would be pretty awesome. But man, and right now, we just got word that Infinity War will be one movie. Now Marvel's still doing 2 movies, but I guess the part 1 and 2 has been cut down to 1 part, which we just heard. And that kind of like was just confirmed today that Infinity War will be 1 movie, but there is another unnamed Avengers or unsubtitled Avengers film that will be directly after it. So I think they're splitting up major story elements for the next 2 films, which is kind of exciting. It's very interesting the way they're doing that. So that is pretty much all of the Marvel news that's going on. Now with the DC news, I thought The Flash was my favorite DC TV thing to come out of Comic-Con.
Oh yeah, by far.
And it so good. We have all this Flashpoint stuff. It is encompassing the entire TV universe. It's changing a little bit of Arrow. It's changing things with Legends of Tomorrow because I think we're still getting Captain Cold back, which he died. We saw that happen. Things are changing.
We didn't really see him die. But.
Well, it was kind of like this thing blew up and he had to be there so it could blow up. It pretty much said, we didn't get to see it. It's not like, it's not like, like HBO or we have to see the character die or we don't know. Maybe they can keep it under wraps, but I don't know. I think he died, and I think they can bring it back. But remember, they said that he is going to be doing Prison Break again, and he'll be back in Flash. So, this is the only way they could bring him back in Flashpoint, and I think that's what's happening. And then apparently Grant Gustin or as Barry Allen, he's going to be having a lot of new memories because of Flashpoint. You see in the trailer uh, that he's kind of like out of the perfect life now. His mother and father are
Yeah.
alive, and but then he starts like getting these other memories and these flashes of what life was, or what life, how life was different on the other side. So I don't know how long this Flashpoint stuff will last. Maybe 4 or 5 episodes, but I mean they have to get to the Supergirl stuff. And speaking of that, there I guess she is a big part of this crossover. I guess she's a focus of like the crossover uh, with all the four CW shows. So
Yeah.
um, that's very interesting. So I don't think that the Flashpoint stuff is necessarily the 4-part crossover. I think it's the Supergirl stuff that may have led from the Flashpoint stuff, but I think this is their way of introducing her to the actual CW universe because she's still in that her other universe. What do you think about that?
Oh,
I mean,
that's interesting. I can get behind it for sure. I'm so excited to see what happens in the DC universe in the
yeah, I mean,
TV.
I don't know for sure. This is just my speculation. I mean, do you have any other ideas, or
Uh,
have you
I
thought
have
about it?
no clue. I haven't really given it much thought. I know it's still a couple months away, so
Right.
I'm trying not to get myself too wired up about it.
Yeah, yeah. Now, what do you think about the Kid Flash stuff that we got to see? Do you think that he's coming out of Flashpoint,
Yeah.
or but do you think that Barry is the Flash in Flashpoint, or do you think that he Kid Flash is the Flash in Flashpoint, or are they both?
Oh, I don't know. I think Kid Flash might be the Flash in Flashpoint because I'm
Yeah, see,
not
that's
sure.
really interesting. I really like to see how they write that because that
Yeah.
it's really weird. But we know we have it. He's an awesome, cool red and yellow costume, very reminiscent of the Kid Flash from the comics, and I think he's gonna be pretty badass. Um, Now with Supergirl, we got to see the new Superman. Superman's
Yes.
going to appearing as Supergirl a lot more than we initially thought, and it is going to be actor Tyler Hoechlin, um, who's going to be Superman. Now, tell me, what do you think of the look of Superman?
I like it. It looks good.
Like, I like it now. Um, but I mean, when they first showed his I guess his side by side with Supergirl, he looked so bad to me. Um, but today they released like a whole bunch of other like set photos and stuff, and he looks
Yeah,
so much
in
better.
the set photos look way better than
Oh
the promo shot for sure.
yeah, that promo shot, his face looked off. He had a weird face. The costume looked way too rubbery and dark in my opinion. And he just looked too dark in my opinion as a Superman. Like, and he looked like an imposter. He looked like a bizarro Superman to me. Like, he didn't look like the Clark Kent Superman that we all know. And then when they showed these other shots of him, it looked a lot better. And the suit looks cool, and it looks a lot lighter than the promo shot because he looks so dark. Um,
Yeah.
but I think it'll be good, and I'm very interested to see what they how they incorporate him into the show. Um, Now with going back to the Flash stuff, we know that there's going to be the Black Racer, which looks very demonic in the set pics we've seen so far. There's so much Flash stuff happening. An Arrow, we're going to get the Ragman, a character from the comics called the Ragman is coming in to be one of the I guess villains, and I mean, and all the other villains that we talked about, Wild Dog and Vigilante and other guys. The last couple episodes we talked about, and a new detective uh, on the show. There's so many characters being added. I think it's because of Flashpoint, and I think it's because a lot of things are going a lot more super because of Flashpoint and bringing out a lot of Um, I think they're kind of ungrounding Arrow a little bit. Maybe not. I don't know, because they said they weren't going to do a lot of superpowers for bad guys. So it seems like they're grounding the show a bit from what we've had with the mystical stuff with Damien Dark
Yeah.
and Ra's al Ghul. But then they're bringing in like Ragman and all these other characters, and the Flashpoint stuff's changing timelines. So I think it's becoming more comic booky than than like than we've seen, but still the grounded, I guess. Um, but we really don't know much about Flash other than the things we've already talked about. Um, Now, apparently, we're going to get. I think there's a rumor of Aquaman maybe appearing in Flash, and
Oh,
that
really?
sound. Yeah, there's an article I saw a couple weeks ago, and we might get a version of Aquaman or a younger version of Aquaman in the Flashpoint universe stuff. So that it's a hot rumor. There hasn't really been anything else that that has been discussed about it, but it might happen. I kind of that might be the one rumor that I don't know is really going to happen, but it was out there as one of the rumors. Um, Now on the Fox side, we have well, I guess we got a trailer of Gotham. I did not see the trailer of Gotham. You didn't either, right?
I did not know.
Yeah, there's so we got a trailer of Gotham, but we know where it ended. All those villains escaped, and I guess we talked about how Ivy's going to be changed and reborn, I guess as they say. Jada Pinkett Smith is back as Fish Mooney, of course. But there is this awesome rumor, which is so very retconny and very different than I ever thought it would be. But Jim Gordon might actually become a comic hero or a comic character that is actually like one of his partners in the comics and like TV series and or animated series and stuff like that. And I think he might be the Question.
Interesting.
And I think the reason why he might be the Question or why they might do that is because it'll give him a lot more story to tell and be more detective secretive, like with this Clayface stuff that happened. And I think because that wasn't really resolved at the end of the season, was it? The Clayface stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to remember what was that? Was the Clayface stuff resolved? Did they catch the bad guy? Who's
Uh,
Clayface?
oh, I
Or
don't
did he
remember.
get away?
He might have gotten away, but I'm
Well,
not.
either
I'm
way,
not 100% sure.
right. Either way, I think there might be some kind of technology with that kind of changes, the future of the show. And I think he may be able to be, the Question, which is kind of cool because then we can get Jim Gordon doing some more secretive stuff and kind of be his own hero in the series, which is because I like how Gotham is so different. I like how the changes they've made, and I like how it seems very different universe, like alternate uh, universe like the way it is, and I think it'll be kind of cool if they make Jim Gordon the Question. And I love the Question. I don't know if you know much about the Question, but he's got like no face, or he has like a mask that he can turn into, no face or like show his face, and with like a
Interesting.
gas. And a very cool character. I suggest you kind of like look into. He's pretty cool looking. And in the comics, well, recently, I'm not sure what it is right now, but Renee Montoya, the that one other Gotham City police detective, she became the Question recently with like the New 52 and stuff. So it went from a guy to a woman, and then that's just how the comics are. But it was never ever Jim Gordon, and I think this is kind of a cool idea. So that's what's going on with Gotham now. Walking Dead's crazy. We got a new trailer for Walking Dead. We still don't know, obviously, who is a guy that Negan has taken out, but that's coming very soon. And it's gonna be a wild show. You really got to catch up on that stuff so we can talk about this.
Yeah,
You're almost there, man. You're almost there.
Struggling with season 5.
Yeah, it is a slower season, but season 6 gets so good. So that's happening, and if you guys are interested in more Negan stuff, I recently came across this. Image does a magazine that is not a comic; it's an actual magazine. It's called Image Plus, and not like PLUS, but actual plus sign. And in the back, it just started. There's 4 Image Plus magazines, and I'm sure you can find them somewhere. I don't think they've kind of sold out or anything, but each month there's one that comes out, and in the back of each one, there's like a 5-page continued story of Negan's origin. And I just recently, found this out, and I thought it's awesome. And it's, written by Robert Kirkman and drawn, by Allred, like just like the comics. And apparently they're probably gonna do it for a little over a year, and it's gonna can go out and be like a 48-page continued story through the magazine with like 5 pages. So I mean, if you divide that out, you'll see how many issues that'll be. But we're gonna get the origin of Negan in the back of those magazines, and I've already read the first 4 parts, and it's really good. It's really sad, but it's really good. And Tyler, once you get to see Negan and hear all about what's going on with him, it'll be pretty cool. But that's The Walking Dead. I mean, we did get a really good Fear the Walking Dead season 2 part 2 trailer, which looks amazing. And I suggest you try and get on that too, Tyler, because Fear the Walking Dead, it's kind of slow, but if you binge it, it makes the show a lot better, because watching it week to week kind of sucks, unfortunately. And I think that's what a lot of people don't like about it. But binging the show makes the show flow really well, and the characters' emotions and what they do. And this second half of the season is going to start pretty soon after Preacher here, and I cannot wait. It looks so good. So that'll be pretty awesome. Nice. And I think that is the end of we got 2 more pieces of news that are unrelated. So AMC, if we're keeping with the Walking Dead stuff, is doing a show with Greg Grunberg, who is in the latest Star Trek and also Star Wars movie. He was in Lost. And Kevin Smith are doing a show called Geeking Out, and that'll be pretty cool. I think it premieres. It may have already premiered.
I think I saw a clip with him and Matt Damon.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I mean, it says Sunday it may have already premiered. I'm not really sure, but it's Sundays at 10. And like after Preacher, I think. And I'm interested, and I like those guys. I listen to a lot of Kevin Smith podcasts, and Greg Grunberg was always good in the stuff he did, and I loved him in Alias and Lost and stuff. And he did a pretty good role, the little tiny role he had in Star Trek as well, and also Star Wars. So that was pretty cool. So I can't see not liking the show, because I like these guys, and I don't know. I think it'll be pretty interesting. And the last piece of news comes from an indie comic called Deadly Class that is written and co-created by Rick Remender. And it apparently at San Diego Comic-Con, we found out that Sony is kind of getting together with the Russo brothers, the guy who are doing Avengers, the next 2 movies, and that did Civil War. And they are helping produce this show. And it's about a class of like an assassin's class. And they're these kids, or these, late teens or in early 20s, whatever. I think they're these in their teens, and they it's a high school for assassins, basically. And I think it's kind of like the backdrop is kind of like 80s, counterculture and stuff like that. So like late 80s culture in the comics, and nice. I think it'll be pretty awesome. So hopefully that actually happens. I know the Russo brothers are pretty busy with directing and stuff with the Avengers, but I mean, it's pretty easy, I think, for them to kind of shovel money to someone who can write a TV show that's already been a comic if they're producing. So that'll be really cool. And hopefully it'll be on a really cool network or even Netflix or Amazon or whatever, because I really want to get to reading this comic. I know, our buddy Jared has read and he really likes it. And I really like Rick Remender. He's a great writer. I think this show will be really cool if they can adapt it right. But it makes me want to read the comic all that much more because it's so well, received by these guys, the Russo brothers. So that will be really cool.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it might happen at Hulu apparently, or I guess they're doing the Warriors at Hulu. But I mean, they might have a relationship with Hulu, so it might actually happen there too. Other than that, cool. That's pretty much the show. And I guess we'll get back to you as soon as we can once these two comic book shows, Preacher and Outcast, end, and then we'll go ahead and review those individually and kind of give our 2 cents about those, and everything that comes with that. So it's a great show. I think we had a lot of news, and I honestly dug what I saw from Comic-Con and trailers and new stuff. I think Marvel topped me with their Luke Cage trailer. That's definitely my top thing for Marvel, and DC was definitely the Flash television season 3 trailer. That was my stuff. So what did you think, Tyler?
Yeah, I'm just excited. I'm excited for everything. Comic-Con was great.
Yeah.
All the trailers, everything that was popping up, and it was nice to see all that kind of stuff.
I am excited for everything too. I love this stuff. I love the movie stuff. I love the TV stuff. And I mean, and we'll get a lot more stuff to talk about here pretty soon, which will be awesome. And especially with Luke Cage as we go through, and hopefully we can get to talking more about Luke Cage than we did with season 2 of Daredevil, because I know really didn't talk very much about that. And
you know what? I have not finished Daredevil season 2 yet.
Oh my goodness, I know. And honestly, like when you watch it, when I first watched it, I really thought it was more action-packed and really, really good. But then after looking back on it, after the months that it's been out and that I've had time to digest it and think about it, I still think season 1's the better season. But I did have fun with season 2. I kind of rate it that, like, if I can watch season 1 more times over and over, and I won't go back to season 2 like I haven't, then season 1 is my favorite. So because I've had I've had the time, and I haven't put in the time to rewatch season 2, and I think I might, but I think it's a little bit harder for me to do than season 1. But yeah, guys, so that's our show, and we are on Facebook at Super Boob Tube Dudes. We are on Twitter at SBoob Tube Dudes, and Super Boob Tube Dudes on Instagram and Tumblr. Not so much on those. We are just two guys that have lives and can't be on social media all day. So we do our best here. But do follow us on Facebook. We are on there mostly, and I post most of the stuff I can and most of the news I can for TV, comic book, and superhero news mostly and only. And some fun pictures or memes and stuff like that. So feel free to like us there. and check us out on Stitcher and iTunes and all that stuff, and listen to our show and check us out at superboobtubedudes.com. We have a website, and thanks for listening. I have been Dante.
And I'm Tyler.
All right, you guys have a good time and keep on tubing.
Thank you for listening to another Rabble Press podcast. Please contact us through our website, rabblepress.com/contact. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow your favorite podcasts on Twitter.
I thought that was great.